Hi friends, welcome to Canadian Cutting Edge. First review of 2020, the Ruike P127. It comes in two handle configurations. I've got the more expensive of the two right here. This is the one with carbon fiber laminate, and it comes also in just regular G10. So this is the P127-CB, and then the -B is the a little less expensive one, although it is a budget knife in both counts. Anyway, what we have is a full-size folder with a Japanese tanto style blade, good steel, comfortable handle, nice grip. If you're looking for a new knife, I got mine from Ruike Canada. RuikeKnives.ca, Ruike Canada. And they've got their knives in stock in Canada. So my fellow Canadians, if you're looking for flipper knives and you're concerned about border crossing, these are already in Canada. Check out their website. I've reviewed most of their knives, and I've got them in my playlists down below. And you can check out the Ruike knives. No matter where you live, they do ship to the United States as well. And you can get Ruike knives in other places, although I've not seen this model on Amazon.com. So my fellow Americans, I'm not an American, but I've got American family, and I go to the States regularly. So yeah, you can buy these from RuikeKnives.ca if you're interested in it, and they'll ship to you in a good speed. If you're in Canada, I think also if you're in the United States, if you spend $99.99, so $100 Canadian dollars, there's free shipping, at least in Canada. Maybe in the States as well. I'm not totally sure. They've got a very good warranty on their knives, so why not check them out? Stick around. The full review's coming to you right now. I've been wanting to get this video out for quite a long time, but, issues being what they are, it's slowed me down. First, I do a little size comparison. Here is an Ontario Rat 1, and as you can see, it's a very similar size knife as the Ontario Rat 1. Now, the Ontario Rat 1 is known to have a fairly large handle, although, the grip area starts here, and, so there's a large area before the cutting edge. This knife here, you've also got, almost an inch between the front of the finger grip, the front of the grip to the cutting edge, but it's not too bad. Good size grip area. We've got flat sides on the knife, as you can see right there. Let me get this to zoom in a little bit or focus. There we go. And chamfered edges on the G10. We've got steel liners. You can't really see it in here right now, but there's skeletonizing. You can see it a little bit right there, some of the holes there, but I'll take the knife apart and show you the insides a little bit later. It's a liner lock knife. No blade play, side to side, up and down. Lockup is very good, very solid, good feel. G10 with a layer of carbon fiber laminate. There's a cutout there for the pocket clip. So the pocket clip is a deep clip, right or left. You've got a tungsten tipped glass breaker. That's a removable glass breaker if you want to remove it. Some guys don't like glass breakers there, and guys and gals, and some like them, and thankfully most of them are made that easily removable. Here's the blade. You've got a guard for your thumb here and a guard for your index finger. So when you're holding the knife, it's very safe. And of course, this style blade, a long, thin blade, tanto tip like that, it's designed for puncturing as well as for slicing. And so that little bit of a guard on both sides is very helpful that way. It's a saber grind, which is a flat grind that comes up most of the way, but not quite to the spine of the blade. 14C28N Sandvik steel, which is a good steel indeed. And a swedge that comes along the spine of the blade and just increases ever so slightly in depth as it approaches the end of the blade here. And then where the tanto tip starts, the blade starts to thin out right there. So it's full thickness all the way until this point. You can see that transition line right there where the blade starts coming thinner to the tip. This more Japanese style tanto, original tanto, has a belly on the front part of the tanto, and then this part is almost flat. There's a little bit of a belly here, but it's mostly flat along that edge. A little bit of belly is actually a very good thing. I like it quite a lot that way. Sharpener's choil is done very well. They nicked the plunge right there when they were sharpening the knife. Not a big deal, especially on a budget knife. This isn't a very low budget knife, but it is definitely a budget knife in the budget category that I am looking at in 2020. This side here, the show side basically, doesn't have any of that. They didn't get up and nick into the plunge there. The Ricasso's satin. The bevel is satin. It says on the Ruike website, and they're looking into it now, it says that it is bead blasted, but mine is not bead blasted. So hopefully by the time this knife goes to air, I might have text on the screen explaining it, why it says bead blasted when mine is satin. So it could be that I just got a knife that didn't get bead blasted for some reason, or they just made a mistake on the listing. But mine is a satin finish. You've got the model on the blade, the logo, the date that it was made. This one was made in August 2019. And each knife from Ruike Knives has its own individual serial number right on the blade. The handle now, the handle's pretty much straight, but there is a transition right here. So the widest point is right there, and then it starts coming back, angled back, good lanyard hole, and it's getting thicker as you come back. The handle's very comfortable in all kinds of grips, very comfortable. That glass breaker doesn't bother me at all with this reverse grip back here. My thumb right over the glass breaker, no problems. Every grip you want, a reverse pull grip is fine. Fist grip, saber grip, detail cutting kind of grip. They're all very comfortable and very good that way. You can see these lines are milled into the side of the handle. That's done both for looks and for grip. It actually does make a little bit grippier than a lot of carbon fiber laminate knives. If you really like a grippy knife, then the full G10 one is a little bit better. I'll show you a picture of it right now. And as you can tell, most G10 knives have got texture on the G10, and then it also has the milling, so that one have even better grip than this one, and this one's got pretty good grip. Flipper, right there. There's no jimping on the flipper. I do wish there was a little bit of jimping on the front of that flipper so that when you do the, let's see, I slipped. When you do the light switch method, it works quite well, but with jimping, it would go even better. I have had to get a little bit of time to get used to this knife. There was a couple times when my finger did slip over it because it's fairly smooth and rounded slightly. And if it had a little bit of jimping in there, then it would grab the finger a little bit better. And either hand, it works quite well. You just have to get used to it a little bit. Now, if you wanted to, you could take a file and just take the corner of the file and put a little bit of jimping in there if that was that important to you. I don't find it to be that important to me, but I want to mention it to you just in case. It's time to do the full specs and description. As long as this is on the screen, that's what I'm talking about. So when this is off the screen, you know that I'm done doing all the dimensions and measurements. Factory edge. I measured it at 130 Bess, which is very good, a nice sharp factory edge. The weight of the knife is 110 grams, 3.9 ounces. The balance point is a little bit back from where I'd like it to be. I would like the balance point to be right there, but it's up here. Not bad, which means the weight of the handle is back on the handle. Some people would prefer where it is right here. The cutting edge length and the blade length are the same, 9.22 centimeters, 3.63 inches. The blade thickness is 3.04 millimeters, which is 0.1195 inches. The blade depth, about an inch up from the sharpener's choil is where I measure, 2.04 centimeters, 0.8 of an inch. The thickness of the edge behind the grind is 0.4 millimeters, which is 0.0155 inches. Very good, nice thin behind the grind edge on this knife. The factory grind angle is the best I've seen all year. Being the first knife I reviewed, it's actually very, very good. This side is 19.9 degrees, and this side's 20.0 degrees. So they sharpened it exquisitely well. Very good rake knives. I didn't measure the angle here on the tip section. Maybe I should have, but this is just excellent. I really have to applaud them. It's very rare that I see a cutting edge that is ground that evenly from side to side. Usually one edge has got a different angle than the other. This is very, very good. Continuing on to the handle now. The handle length is 12.13 centimeters. That's 4.777 inches. The grip area is roughly 10 centimeters, just over, right around 4 inches. The handle thickness, not counting the pocket clip, is 1.33 centimeters. That's 0.523, so not bad at all for the thickness of the handle. The handle depth when the blade is deployed or when the blade is in is the same because the widest point is right there, which is the same as this up here. So it's a little wider by the guards here and the flipper and stuff, but I'm measuring the main section of the knife. 2.24 centimeters, that's 0.881 of an inch. And the complete length of this knife, oh, I only measured the centimeters and I didn't convert it. 21.55 centimeters, and that equals, right around 8.5 if you're measuring right to the tip of the tungsten tipped glass breaker. So that's very, very good. The price for this knife, well, it depends on which one you get. This is the more expensive of the two. This is the P127-CB, and the all G10 is the P127-B. That one is $66.95 Canadian, which is about $51.41 US right now. This one is $73.95 Canadian, which is right around $56.75 American. So unique features, well, it's got a glass breaker, which isn't all that common these days, and having a nice tungsten tip. That's a good thing. We've got this thumbs up safety lock, or thumb up safety lock, whatever they call it. And this little lock, if you slide it forward, then a little bit of a lever goes ahead and it stops the liner from being released. And so you can't release that. And now it's, a locked in liner lock. You can't undo the lock. You just slide that back and now you can close the knife. I generally don't use those kind of locks, but what I like about this one is that it's out of the way. It's easy to use when you want to, but you won't accidentally engage that lock too easily. Of course, you can accidentally engage it, but I haven't inadvertently engaged this lock, so I don't mind that extra locking system on there. And some people really like it. So it's got good grip on it. It's got a great weight, only 3.9 ounces for a full-length knife like this, 8.5 inches. The balance between the handle and the blade sizes is very good. It's lightweight. Here, let's see the inside of it so you can see how it's skeletonized. I take the knives apart after I've done the rest of the review, and I just noticed another con, and that is it is a H6, H3, 3mm hex screw, but you need two of them because it's not a fixed pin. It spins freely. If I turn the one side, the other side turns along. So you need two of them in order to be able to take it apart, which I don't prefer. But thankfully with these hex heads, it's not like it's going to accidentally slip out easily and you're going to stab yourself in the hand, if it slips. So that's not terrible, but you do need two of them. And that, could be a little bit of an expense for some people. Here we go. You can see a little bit of red there, which means they've put a little bit of Loctite in there. So let's take this apart now. Here we go. So there's the G10 handle scales. Here's the main liner. And there's the steel ball bearings with their lubricant pasted all over them. We've got that captured stop pin that's inside there, which is why you didn't see the stop pin on the outside. And behind here is where the lock is. And you can actually see here in this video now, it slides up. You move the lock up that way, and that's what stops the liner lock from releasing because of that tab right there. That tab just holds it in the lock position. You push it back, and then now you can release it all the way. So steel ball bearings, these are fixed, which is, if they did it to these screws, I don't know why they didn't find a way to do it to the pivot pin. It should have been quite easy to do to make it come apart. So there is a little bit of upgrade that they could do to this, but not much. I like it quite a lot. Good steel. 14C28N by Sandvik is a very good steel, certainly worth the price that this knife is listed at. Good detent. Watch this. Just at the end, it pulls it in there, holds it in. There's nothing to catch on the side, and this being rounded, the blade's not going to open in your pocket accidentally. Well, it can, but it's very unlikely to happen. The deep pocket clip is right and left, as I said before. I like that you've got this section here where it's raised up. So even though they didn't use flat screws, it's very unlikely that your pants are going to get caught on those screws. The pocket's going to slide right to the top. But one, I'm not calling it a con, but it might be close to a con. If this part of your pocket is thicker than average, then you might have difficulty getting it on there. You might have to, put it on just the right angle to get it to slide on. But for most pants, even denim, it's going to slide in there very easily. Got very little knife sticking out, nice and discreet carry, and comes out without a problem. It's a good knife that looks good, feels good. And if that's the biggest con that I have about it, that's not bad at all. So this spoon isn't hot in the hand at all. And it's just a nice, easy to use knife. Notice the pivot pin. I didn't even talk about it in detail before. It's one of those hollow pins. Maybe slightly late lockup. A little bit later than I like on a brand new knife. But not much. On a brand new knife, I prefer it to be there, and it's there. If you can see the difference, that's just very, very slight. There's still lots of life in this knife. It'll move over time as it wears out across the tang of the blade. Alignment, it's not perfect, but it's very close. So it's a very good alignment, good blade, useful for EDC tasks, useful for puncturing when you need to. Good little slicer, easy to carry, easy to use, and it looks good, at least in my opinion. If you're in a market for a knife like this, go ahead and get it from rakeknives.ca. I don't have a discount code for you with that vendor, but please let them know that Jake from CCE or Canadian Cutting Edge sent you, because they do give me a discount. I did buy this price I did buy this knife at a discounted price because I'm a reviewer, but they give me complete 100% freedom to say anything and everything I want to on my videos. And that's the only way I deal with companies anyways. If they're going to give me a discount on a product, it's only if they give me full freedom. And that's what they said at the beginning. I didn't have to convince them of that at all. They're a very good company. So thank you for watching my little video. Thanks for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. And remember, guys, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb. Bye for now.